Right, okay. So today's stream is today's stream is gonna be a bit interesting. Gonna be a bit interesting because I thought about some things. I looked at what we did yesterday. I looked at the VOD and what we did yesterday, and I came up with some ideas. Now, um, I'm not entirely sure if these ideas are gonna work, but certainly they will be entertaining to say the least. So let's kind of get into this. Here we go. All right. So, what I was coming up with, right, is just hypothetically, what if we just made everything a string, a C string? Not a C++ string, but a C string. You know? Kind of makes sense. So like take this C++ buffer and essentially make it a formatted string using a buffer and something like sprintf. Instead of actually doing anything, I think it makes these functions a lot easier to do. You know, instead of making it like a string view, we have essentially something that can be turned into a C++ string if need be, or something that can essentially just, fit around, right? So how I would go about doing that is this, essentially, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kill anything to do with C++ strings, and then kind of follow the errors a little bit, if you think about it. So the return type of session stamp to string is going to be a C string. And these are all going to be string views. So we're going to copy this. Copy this. And we're not going to use the string stream anymore. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to include from kata lib c collections the buffer.h. And we're going to define buffer. Define implementation. There we go. That should be fine. And we're gonna return. Whoops. Buffer sprintf. We're gonna do percent. So we're gonna do a new line, %s, then a new line, and that's gonna be our border. And then we're gonna do %s, which is going to be our header, space, %s timestamp, then new line, which is going to be the border, the header, timestamp, and then it's going to be the border again. It's going to be the border again, which is going to be %s and then 2 new lines. And that's going to be your border. And there we go. That should be the same thing. And then these can, instead of that, be a const char pointer. There we go, there we go. And I don't really need to do anything else with that. And then this could be the same thing, where you have return buffer sprintf. This is going to be const, whoops. Char pointer. This returns a char pointer, really, but so we're gonna do percent, or we're gonna do an F key, and then %C, and then the closing bracket, which the C is gonna be the char. We're gonna get the char of code minus VK F1 coming from Windows +1. And that should work the same as this. And then these are fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. And then here, we're going to return char pointer, and we're going to return from sprintf of %C, and return that, whereas this is essentially going to return the same thing, but code is going to be +32. Get normal key, char pointer, and get number. That's going to be a char pointer. And we're going to do sprintf %C, shift at index. There we go. I think this is going to work. Whoops. %C. Okay. And then we're going to do that. And it's going to standard printf, and we're going to do char const return key. All right, and we should have, I just have to include cstdio. Actually, that could go here just to keep things organized, and that should work. What other errors do we have down here? String view. Okay, so that should be a const char pointer. We're not really using that right now, but we will. Standard string. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's... I think that's the only one, so then I can then reintroduce string. Just to get this to compile. I think that works. Ah, okay. So standard string of this dot C string. I think that's gonna work. And let's compile and run it. Ooh, alright. Oh, because kata is in build. There we go. Okay. Okay, code is 186, right. Normal. Printf. Normal. And let's just see here. No. Oh, wait a second. Oh, duh, I'm just stupid. Key. Of course, that's a semicolon. Special key. And there we go. Of course, so I shouldn't make that mistake again. We're gonna wrap these in single quotes. Because I keep making that mistake, so might as well. Ah, here we go. This is great. And then just bin run. That's pretty cool. Okay. I like that. So now we can kind of take this functionality and make it one function. You know, we can take all of this and essentially get... Yeah, we can make this more programmatic, essentially. Which, just out of curiosity, if I do that, even though it just returns a normal char pointer, yeah, okay, it compiles, no warnings, okay, alright, all good. So then, if I make a function, let's see, what is that, yeah, if I make a function that returns a const char pointer of a... So if I return a const char pointer of, I guess, get key from code. Right, get key from code, and that's going to take in a code. Yeah. Okay. I like this. Yeah, it's going to take in a code, and it's essentially going to do... this bit, I guess. Right? Or, yeah, Boolean uppercase. Because it's not the job of this function, it's not the responsibility of this function to determine whether it is uppercase or not. So we're essentially going to do this. Right? So, let's see. So we want to determine, I kind of want to do this sort of declarational in the sense of we check if it's a normal key, we act on that. We check if it's a special key, we act on that, etc., etc., etc. So we can actually do this here. We can just return that and kind of make it more succinct. As well here, we can just return that. Again, make it more succinct. As well, right? So I could say if is normal, then, or if is normal key, then we do that. And then else if is special key code, that. And there we go. We have something that is vaguely programmatic, and I like it. So what I can do is then do standard printf %s new line, or we're going to do key, and we're going to do get key from code, and uppercase. There we go. And then I'm going to compile and run. I'm going to hold down the shift. And there we go. We get a colon. So just semicolon. All right. Control reaches end of non-void function. Oh, all right. We're just going to return null for right now. Oh, yeah, okay. So what do I do if it's an error case? Should I check for null? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna try and check for null. Key, which is equal to this. If null, or I guess, yeah, null pointer is equal to key, then we're going to fprintf. We're going to create somewhat of an error state. Cannot obtain key and s new line key. Else we're just going to print the fuck key. There we go. And that should work. Holding shift down again, and we get a colon, which is exactly correct. And then if I enable caps lock, we get a colon, which is exactly correct. And if I do neither, we get a semicolon, which is exactly correct. Good. All right. So we have deterministic behavior from a programmatic function, which is awesome. There we go. Which is awesome. The only problem with this is it kind of leaks memory with the buffer, but what we can do is after we're done using the buffer, we can do buffer reset. So it doesn't really leak any memory, so to speak. You know, I mean, it kind of does, but not exactly. Extract this condition that has already been extracted. I got the Obama thing today. You know, my voice is just harsh. I've been like yelling for the past 3 or 4 days. Not for any sort of like anger reason, but just for the sense of like, I work in my day job is in a place where you can't really like hear very well, so you kind of have to yell to be heard. So yeah, my voice is going. I recognize that, but so we're gonna kind of kill all these from things that we have commented out, which is good, which is great, which is awesome. There we go. I can get rid of that. Right. Okay, and then what other logging do I need? I can kill is uppercase. I can kill these essentially. Is normal key, get normal key, is special key, key to string, key from code, get key state, key from code. These all can essentially be erased. Right? Because we tackled normal keys, special keys, and function keys essentially. Not logically, but we have function keys. Right? Did I make an is function key? Normal key. Well, I mean, right, so if I think we can assume that if it's not a normal key or a special key, it's a function key. I think that is a decent assumption, right? But what I'm going to do is kind of make get normal key the default behavior. And we're going to say Boolean is function key. Do I already have that? I'm going to do Shift F. Is function key. No, I don't. Okay. But essentially it's this condition here. So we have is function key int code. And we are going to return this. And that is going to be that. So we're going to say is function key, and we're going to return normal key, number, letter, get function key from code. I'm going to say function key to string. Key to string, and that's going to take in a code. And then is special key, and then we're going to get normal key. We're going to assume that normal key is, we're going to assume that normal key is, and I also need const char pointer shift characters, shift symbols, I guess, yeah. Hold on, I have an itch on my leg. Okay. So get normal key, which we take then the uppercase and the shift symbols. We don't want to use global functions, and that's just your default state. Right? So here, because this is unreachable, because we already check, I think I can raise an exception. I don't like doing exceptions. But what nah, I'm gonna do return a null pointer. And that's, yeah, I think that's gonna be what goes there. So where is the error here? Oh yeah, shift symbols, shift characters. There we go. And we're going to return a non-zero exit code like that. Good. Okay, so now I can essentially get rid of everything. Key from code in this keylogger because we've handled everything. Number, get letter. Okay. So the low level design still needs to stay, as well as, I'm going to comment this out for right now, but that will become something in a minute. Okay. So I'm happy with how this is turning out so far. Which is great. Well, no, yeah, let's keep these separated so that they look clean. These are essentially our settings, right? Here. I'll add some comments. Right. Global settings. And then we can have uppercase stick together. Uppercase. This should be done programmatically, but for the sake of things compiling right now, we're going to keep that there. Right. Okay. So that is awesome. That is great. I like how that is done. Right. So this is okay. All right. And then sort of we want to create a function that essentially is our main function, but hooks into the low-level processes. Sorry. This is another thing I can get rid of, correct? Because I have this in here somewhere. Session stamp to string. Yeah, okay. So I can get rid of this. There we go. All right, and then all we have in this file is some timestamp stuff, which I can get rid of. Well, I don't know. I'll keep that there for now, just so that I can keep track of what I'm doing. All we have is like this low-level Windows stuff, and basically that's it. I think today's stream will be the last of actually making it functional. You know, if I ever want to stream this again, it's going to be more or less. It's going to be more or less that making it like pretty, you know, but we are probably going to have a functional keylogger at the end of the day, which is great. So log key is. I'm gonna keep that there for right now. We're gonna get the virtual key code. I think that can be extracted out, and we can just put that there because that's in. No, that is not. Okay. So D word, is that an int? Let's find out. Windows D word. Which might look. Yeah, okay, so it's an unsigned long. Okay. We'll keep it an int for right now. But if you remember from the last stream, long is typically used as sort of like in C, the way of telling someone that it's like a hex code or like an octal or something like that, like a mask, which is great. You know, I do like that that you're self-documenting. You know, you're not just passing any old int into the function. It has to be a specific type. And I think that's what I want to essentially do, is make it more than just... What the fuck is going on with my leg? Feels like there's a spider on me, but there isn't. I don't know if it's like my fan blowing my leg hairs, but anyway, that's completely irrelevant. Let's see. So, yeah. So keyboard is a hook, H hook. So what is Windows H hook? I guess hook. That works. Right, it takes in a H hook. Okay. Doesn't really tell me what a H hook is. Keyboard, right? H instance, D word, type D word. Turn value, H hook. Turn value is null. Let's get extended error information. Get call last error. Okay. All right. I just wanted to check that if I could use to check here null pointer instead of just null. But the documentation says to explicitly check for null, so I'm going to assume that's what they meant. Okay, so these are kind of the low-level Windows calls. Yeah. Right. I like this. I like how this turns out, right? Like, I don't think I can really restructure these, so to speak. But these will be our sort of, like, main hooks, you know? So, like, logging and doing that side effect, I think is okay because it's how Windows works. You know, it's how callback functions work. I'm not really sure I want to do it that way. Like, maybe I could do C. Well, does C++ have closures? No, I don't think C++ has closures. I know C doesn't have closures. Yeah. Because what I was thinking is I could, like, make a closure that takes in a log file, so to speak, and returns this function, essentially. And that's how I would do it if I were in, like, any other programming language. Like Go. Like, in Go, that's how I would do it. Or Python or whatever. But yeah, I think with the Windows, like, how that's set up, like, callback-wise, I think you're just gonna have to do logging. And these are clearly, like, Windows-specific. So I'm okay with these essentially being like being a dirty function. You know what I mean? You know what the term dirty function means? It means just kind of like not exactly. It's the opposite of clean code, essentially. Clean, dirty. And I'm okay with these kind of having side effects and doing things that aren't necessarily within the scope of the function. Scope meaning within the responsibility. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah. All right. So let's go to our actual main function here. This is the original main function from the original programming. From the original program. Sorry. And wow. So what I know I'm gonna need is include Windows H, and that fixes a lot of the errors. But the console handler is this, and what this is our end callback. What this is our end callback. Essentially, yeah. Yeah, I'm still thinking, like, I kind of want to... Alright, let's look this up. CPP closures. There's lambda expressions. I forgot about lambda expressions. I am a C and Go programmer. I forgot about lambda. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. Stores a copy by reference or explicitly capture. Yeah. Safety and lifetimes. The closure of responsibility evoked after variables gone out of scope. It results in undefined behavior, often a crash. Okay, fair enough. Comparison of functors. Ooh. To generate these class, right? I've done a little bit of Haskell programming, so I'm aware of, like, not a lot, but I've dabbled in it. So I understand what a functor is. Type meta auto for local storage as a type erased draft restore past specific signature, i.e. Standard function. Okay. So yeah, let's just see, like, an example of a closure. Okay, so that doesn't really help. Shut up. I don't want to sign up for your mailing list. A lambda I just want a fucking example. I don't want a fucking wall of text. Is this... No, that just tells me how to... Okay. I had an itch. Our reference to closure, left reference to closure. Okay, alright. So we're going to return a standard function. And where is standard function? Standard function defined. Where is that defined? Please tell me that's in CPP 11. Okay. In functional. Okay. So it's a standard function, and then essentially you just have to define a C function, which is a bool that takes in a D-word. That's it, yeah. It takes in a D-word. And this is going to be make console handler. Yeah, sure. And that's going to take in, I guess, a log file? Yeah. Yeah, that's going to take in a log file. Okay. And that is of type, what was the log file type? OF stream. Ha, OF stream. Like OnlyFans, you get it? Ha. So stupid. Standard OF stream. Log file. And OF stream is defined. OF stream. And F stream. Okay. Include F stream. There we go. Group the CPP files together, or CPP headers together, and so that's essentially going to return this here, which is our console handler. Yeah. We're gonna do. Should I capture it by reference, or, as far as I know, D-word is just an integer. Should I capture it by reference, or something else? Oh, okay, yeah, and then we're gonna do view const char pointer of a session stamp. So that's like this session end, session begin, so we can kind of differentiate. Okay. So let's see, what do I want to do? Right, so do I want to just capture it by value, or as far as I know, right, so you take in, let's see here, okay, CPP closure example. Let's see what the AI. I do like Google's AI specifically because they kind of like give me idea. I don't copy and paste directly really from Google's awful clanker AI, but it allows me to kind of just see what I'm working with. You know, like get an idea. You know. So closure is they take in the greeting, which is a string name, and then greeting name, and standard inline, right? I don't really like using standard inline. It's confusing whether this. So what standard inline, instead of just passing in a new line character, does is it flushes the buffer, right? So like for this, fine, whatever. But yeah, no. Yeah, like this, you could just do like you really want to just pass a um a new line character. Like I'm not really concerned whether the buffer needs to be flushed or not, and that takes time. So it speeds up your program to not worry about standard inline in C++. Okay, all right. So I think I know. So the capture is the capture is the outlying variable, and then whatever parameter that. Okay, all right. I think I know what I can do. All right. So let's return a capture group of. Can you capture by reference in a lambda function of a C string? Alternatively, can you implicitly capture from, well, I mean, I guess. Yeah. It's possible. Let's see. So we're going to do log file and okay, multiple captures. Is that a thing? Plus lambda multiple capture. There we go. Yeah, okay, so they're just by comma. Okay, all right, there we go. And session stamp. There we go. We're going to find out if that's a thing. And so the function that it returns is going to take in a... Right? Capture. Lambda capture clause in C++. Yeah, okay. That's fine. By a reference. CPP lambda capture by reference C string. See if that works. Pointer. Oh, okay, yeah. So you can just capture the. Okay, all right, that's fine. Session stamp. Oh, and then. Right? Yeah, because that takes care of this and this. Because you're just passing in this. Okay, alright. So then we get log file, and it has. Right. And then. So hold on, CPP closure. Example. I'm a very visual learner. That's kind of why I decided to do this. Yeah. Oh, okay. So you can't really, like... I don't know, define what this returns, right? How about this? All right, so standard function of bool, and then takes a d word. Whoops. is result. Whoops. Not mean to make that a thing. This. Whoops. And it's gonna return a results. I think that makes sense. We use a bit of conversion. Huh. I don't like using auto, but this is what we're gonna have to do. Auto to, yeah, okay. Right. Lambda's enclosure. Reference return that. Okay. Void, void. Okay, how about I just define it and then we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna define it and we're gonna see what happens. So this is gonna take in a D-word event. There we go. And then we're going to essentially do this. And indent this. I think that's okay. Oh, and then console handler, and then close event. So you get the log file. User defined lambda error type to exist, which is fair enough, right? D-word event. Okay. And I also need, let's see. I also need the keyboard. But how do I pass in the keyboard is the problem. Because I don't want to make, because the keyboard is global. So how are we doing it here, right? So the keyboard is a local that you can return. Okay. And then keyboard is, so keyboard's used here. These are the only places keyboard are used. I did actually check. Keyboard. I don't know. Yeah, should I just say H hook? Whoops. Keyboard. And we're gonna say keyboard. If I could spell, that'd be amazing. There we go. And still gives me to an error type. Return. Okay. I guess I can just do bool int to bool int results, and if, or no, we're gonna return results. Return results does not equal 0. Yeah, because a non-zero in binary, non-zero is true. Whereas 0 is false. Yeah, okay. So int, whoops, to bool, or non-zero is true, 0 is false. Yeah, there we go. Int to bool, and we're gonna say log file set timestamp, of course, and then we have the keyboard session stamp to string. So what I'm gonna do, oh, I can get rid of this because the session stamp is gonna make the timestamp. Yeah. Oh. And then I can also get rid of this condition. Right, and I want to return false here. Because if we, alright, so if we go back to the original code, keylogger, that should be in my history. There we go. If we go back to the original code, let's see, where are we? Console handler, right? If it does not, if the event does not equal control close event, right? So this is what happens if it does equal control event. And then, right? Yeah, this is what happens if it does have control event. Else it returns true. Alright, let's return true for now. Yep. That's fine. And then I'm going to comment this out for now just so that I can have that there as a reference. And we're going to say make console handler, and this is where we pass in the log file. So we're going to say, we're going to grab this here. I'm going to grab this here. say var. I was programming a little in Go today, so like var this. I'm gonna say OF stream log file, and we're just gonna declare that. Standard OF stream. Another thing I hate about C++. We're gonna comment these out for right now, and then log file dot open. So we have log file, and then the keyboard, which is right because keyboard. Oh, this is mutable. There we go. Because it changes the keyboard. Right, so let's do a view into. Yes, I can do a view into that, and then these. I'm gonna comment this out because that's taken care of in the timestamp, and that should be fine. Yeah, okay, that should be fine. H hook is the keyboard, which is the keyboard handler, and then the session stamp, which is this. So we're going to set in this, where do we set the timestamp? Okay. All right. I'm going to make a function that essentially does that for us. So we're going to do this is C string. Is it a C string or is it? Yeah, it's a C string. We're gonna say make session stamp, and we're gonna get the char pointer session stamp is going to get the header, is going to get the border, and is going to get that's really it. Yeah. And then we're going to return, or we're going to set the timestamp. Which is a function we don't have right now in this file. And then we're going to return session stamp this, essentially. Which this is the header, border length, header, border, right? Yeah, header, border, and timestamp. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. And then what I'm gonna do is we are going to const char session end stamp, is equal to make session stamp, which is going to take this header and a border is going to be where do we have border? Do we use border at all? Is this, okay. And then border length is equal to 60, which is an int, and character border character is equal to the equal sign. There we go. Oh, use the wrong border again. And then we do session stamp, session and stamp. No suitable conversion standard functional to dot okay, then I will do, instead of standard functional, we will just say it is a function. This returns a function. What was the control function? Windows set console control. There we go. And it takes in a p handler routine. What the fuck is a p handler routine? Handler routine callback, sure. It's a Boolean. All right. An int okay, I'm going to copy this even though I have no idea what the fuck that means. I see. Okay. So it returns a lambda function. Say true. I don't know. Can I just write auto? I don't like auto. But I think for right now that's just going to have to do. Okay, let's do, it's an int It's a function that's an int and takes a D word result right. Yeah. Okay, so type def right int. Have I forgotten how to do C++? C function type. Yeah, function pointer. C function type def. Type. Return type alias name parameter. Okay, yeah, return. So int. End callback type, I guess, which is then going to be, and it's going to take in a D word. So this is going to be end callback type, this, and then we're going to do result. That works, supposedly. I'm gonna put this up here and have that be end callback type. Oh. Can I not do that? It is a function pointer. Without the mutable keyword? Huh. No, that's worse. Standard function of bool or int. Yeah, okay. So standard function of int returns a D word. And that's fine. Whoops. Standard function int keyword result, however, results dot stored target function swap swaps the target of two functions. guess target? Is that a thing? Matches the argument list. Target. Dot. To the stored target function if type equals target type, otherwise a null pointer. Target type. Should I just say auto? See if that works. No. Well, alright, so that's gonna work. So we're just gonna static cast, see if that works. Static cast to int dword. Int, that's a function pointer. Yeah, I didn't think so. Target. No? Alright, you know what? I think that's... Does this even fucking compile? I don't think it does. How about if I take away the mutable keyword? Does that work? No. Return. Alright, so how about int to bool? Is that a thing? So then we just return, or 1, yeah. That way it's an integer. Int result. That should work though. So we're gonna static cast p handler routine result. I'm pretty sure that works. Here, let's do this. Oh, okay. Handler result. Let's do that. Right, log file. Complete type. And then make console handler. Yeah, so I just need to copy these functions real quick. Compile. Yeah. Invalid static cast. Okay. So then if I just pass the function in. Nope. P handler routine. Does that make it worse? That makes it worse. God, I love Windows. P handler routine. Yeah, that just makes it worse. So this is a lambda function essentially. Um. I don't really need to capture anything but the keyboard. If you really think about it. Because I was thinking of just logging, but... I don't know, if you really think about it, like, do you need to log the session end and session start? You don't, right? Yeah. Because session start, you can just log anyway. Yeah, alright. So this is a lot of grief about nothing. So, fair enough. That I can delete. This I can delete. This I can delete. And down here I can delete. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to log the session start, session end in the callback necessarily. If you think about it, right? Like, if you really think about it. Yeah. Alright, so I guess we're just going to keep the console handler. Like this. Right, okay, so yeah. So, keyboard. Alright, maybe keyboard can be a global. I don't like it as a global. But I don't know, maybe it should be. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe it should be. I'm okay with that. Well. Yeah. Okay. I'm alright with that. Come on. My mouse was doing so well. We do int to bool. Oh. And then the keyboard. Console handler. Yeah, I think that's the best I can do. Which is fair enough. And then we're gonna do clerge console handler. We're gonna say console handler. There we go. All right, so we get the process module. That's fine. I'm gonna rename this to instance. Again with that Hungarian notation. And low-level keyboard process, which is in the original file here, which is here, right? So log key. Okay, all right. So, okay. We need essentially a function that will log the key. That's what I'm getting at. And that's going to be our callback. Get key from code, which is essentially this, if you think about it. Yeah. Key from code. Get key from code. Oh, okay. All right. It just needs to know if it's uppercase. Okay. Uppercase, it needs the shift symbols, and it needs... Okay. I don't like using global variables. But I believe in this instance, global variables are okay. I believe in this instance, global variables are okay. So what I'm going to do... Am I? No. No, I'm not. Yeah. Let's see. So... Alright. Void log key. Void log key. Which is gonna take in code. And it's gonna take in a code. I have an idea. It's not a good idea, but it's an idea. It's an idea. Yeah, I think it gets, yeah. I think it's gonna do this. Yeah, alright, so we can just take in the code. And maybe the shift symbols, yeah. Sequence char shift symbols, which are going to get, so it's going to do this, it's going to figure out if it's uppercase. Oh, okay, I can hard code these values, that's fine for right now. I don't want to, but I think that's the best I'm gonna do. So that's fine. Uppercase can be computational. I'm okay with that. And then we're gonna do... What are we gonna do? I want to get the key from the code, essentially. Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna log the key. Right, because I need to, like, log some... Well... In the original log key, right? In the original log key, we're going to go here. And so in the original log key, it just logs everything. It opens a log, and it just fucking logs everything. Right? Shift symbols, and I guess I can create... Yeah, I can guess... I guess I could do, like, a global logger, essentially. I think that's fine. Yeah. So we're going to use my own logger. So that's going to go... Right? Or are we going to, like, open a file? Huh. I don't entirely know. Right, so this is very clean and very functional. But we get the key from the code, and we log the key somehow. Are we just going to write to a log file? I think we might just log to a log file. I think that's fine. I do not like callbacks. Callbacks are fucking stupid. But unfortunately, in this particular instance, you have to use callbacks. Oh, shit. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Okay. So, standard F stream, or OF stream log file, and that's, I'm gonna replace const here, and we're gonna do log file that, and I'm gonna do no return. That way it optimizes it a little bit better. Oh, okay. Include f stream file stream. And that should work, in my opinion. Right, so we got ourselves a keylogger. Let's do this. Let's take that out and put that in here. Right. Handler and make console handler. I'm going to comment that out for right now. Int to bool. I'm going to comment that out for right now. Okay. Alright, how long have I been going for? Because I think I need to take a little break. It's been 1 hour 35, so I think I'm going to take a small little sort of pee break and then get right back into it. See you guys in a minute. Okay, so this is a keyboard, essentially. Right? Yeah, okay, so in a blank namespace, we're going to say hhook keyboard. So I can take that out. And the low-level process. The low-level process, here we go. Okay, so let's take that out. And we're going to do low-level process here. And this is going to be log key. It takes in the key code. Oh, alright, so we'd need a log file. No, yeah, I think those are going to be, yeah, okay, so log file, global, and then, shift characters, ERS, there you go. Okay, so that's fun. We're going to move the log file out to a global. I wanted to more create a settings object, but I don't believe, like, because of the scope issues and because of this callback shit, it's not necessarily going to work. Which is unfortunate, but that's just, I think, how that's going to happen. So I'm going to delete this just to make it look a little cleaner. Low-level keyboard process. So we're going to say keyboard hook keyboard BOAR hook and instance. There we go. I can type. That's a valid check if keyboard is null. I think that definitely. Okay. That's okay for right now. I'm gonna fix that though. I'm gonna fix that. Installed successfully. The message loop. Okay, so here's a message loop. Fuck. Let's see here. Turn value from get message. Should I make a function to sort of deal with this? Yeah. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna say, what does this return? Does it return anything? Return get message. Translate message. And dispatch message, which I can't glean the return type for. Windows dispatch message. There we go. That is going to return an L results. What is an L results? I don't know why there's just some fucking guy there. Alright, let's see if VS Code can help me a little bit. L results. A long pointer. Okay, so a long pointer is a long. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have like a void function. Yeah, void. Because as of right now, I don't really care about the return types of those, and I don't think this little snippet here returns anything. So I'm gonna copy this. Right? Because all right. So do we use any of this after this? Message, let's see. No. How about B return? No. Okay. So it doesn't need parameters necessarily. Start loop. Void. I'm gonna void that. And we're gonna copy this here. And make it a little bit more professional. Return, or I guess result. Yeah, result. And we're gonna call this message. Nothing I can do about the type, but well, I can make that an actual Boolean. Results message. Results and SSAGE. Okay, there we go. So that's fine. And then wall results. So we check for errors. That's fine. I'm going to delineate that and that, and then that, just so that I can see what I'm doing. Can I put in any guard clauses here? I don't think I can. Because there's already guard clauses here, if you think about it. I don't know, maybe, well, because it breaks here. So I don't know if you really need the else. Because that is essentially return. If you think about it. Yeah. Okay, I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Yeah. So then we're going to start loop. And then clean up. And I can sort of delete this because it's a global. We're gonna have the lifetime of the log file be the entire function, essentially, or entire application. Sorry. So keyboard hook is keyboard. go. And this is... Okay, so this is our session end. Yeah, so session end stamp. Which is session end stamp. Can actually go... I can inline that, actually. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We can do this. Make session stamp. There we go. And then double. That is not relevant. Log file. Or I guess I have to do it camel case. Because I'm looking for where it's used. 3-4, it's used here. Okay. So in the original code, we have, where does it, so it just session starts out the gate. Okay, that's fine. So we're gonna do these constants can go here because they're local variables. You don't necessarily need them in a global context. So log file, we're going to do make session stamp, and this is going to be what was the original session string, session started. There we go. Session started, and right, we're gonna do, yeah, okay, so make session stamp, session started, border, give me 1 second. Border is a standard string of border length and border character. And then you need the C string of it. There you go. And that should work. And then we set the console handler. And then we do all this stuff. And you don't really need to check if the log file is open, and then we clean that up. Okay. Is there anything we need to necessarily close? Like, let's look at our original, or let's look at our working. No. Yeah, I guess the buffer reset is the only thing that I need to do. Yeah. Because if you look at it, I don't really care if there's a first key. We're not using first key anywhere, right? Like, if you look at it, first key. In this, yeah, is for if is first key. Yeah, no, we're not. Yeah. You don't need to do that, essentially. We have the border length, we have the border character, which I defined twice for some weird reason. So that's fine. The only thing we really need to do is do a buffer reset. And that's it. Yeah. So I can get rid of that. Okay, and then down here is you do that, and then buffer reset, which I have to include. And I think that works. As far as I know, that should work. So we're going to get this. And put it here, because now this, so let's double underscore that. Let's single underscore that. That's my naming convention for kind of testing shit out. I'm going to delete those files eventually. Let's do that. There we go. These can all disappear. We're going to single underscore our keylogger. And what are we missing? What are we missing? Let's make this look a little... Yeah. Let's make this look a little better. So we got... Let's put... this up here, and of course I need log key. Then I need get key state. Okay, so get key state. There we go. So that's get key state. I need key type. Includes keys. There you go. I need is uppercase and get key from code. So is uppercase. I think I'm going to put all the conditions at the top. Just think that looks better. Get key from code. Or I guess maybe I should rename that to key. I should rename that, like key to string or something like that. Yeah. Put the conditions, and then this is kind of like the main workhorse function, so I'm going to put that there. And we're going to rename that key to string. I think that's fine. That's, yep, okay, so we need is function key, which is right here. We need in range. Okay. I think in range can go here, because that's kind of generic. What else do I need? Is special key. And get normal key. Which is here. I should say normal key to string. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so let's do this. Normal key to string. And then I need a bunch of, yeah. So number key toString. Rename that. And let's there. Let's do that. Let's see, letter, key, toString. So I believe we have a working program at the moment, but this is just now both making it pretty and making it compilable in the sense of the normal key to string, right? Or normal key to string. No, it's key to string. Yeah, we need key to string. There we go. Okay, and then normal key to string, which is down here. So I gotta kind of do this. Number key to string, letter key to string. Letter key to string, and normal key to string. Which is letter key to string, number key to string, right? Yeah. Okay. We got key to string. And then we need function key to string, which is right here. And special key to string, which I believe is here. That's a long fucking if-else statement. So it shouldn't return a null pointer, but if it does, it's not necessarily the worst thing. You know? Okay, and then we need buffer, of course. So we're going to do define buffer implementation and include build cata lib c collections buffer. It's a long path, I know, but it keeps everything in one convenient intuitive spot. So that's all good. That's all good. What else do I... Oh, so I need the shift characters in the log file. Which log file is going to be a global. Log file, which is OF standard OF stream. Oh, I have log file. That's why I took the break to kind of, step back and, well, I also had to pee, but to step back and kind of, like, compose myself and, get into the thick of it. Right, okay. Let's see. Is normal key. Do we use is normal key? No. Okay. So Is normal key and session stamp to string. Session stamp to string. Make session stamp. We do need... Okay, so we do need session stamp to string. But we don't use his normal key. Which is interesting. Excuse me. Log file. Log key. Standard OF stream. Cannot be referenced. It is a deleted function. What? Okay. Do I get the same error if I kind of initialize it? Yeah. Stream. Char traits basic OF stream. Wow, okay. This is another reason I don't like C++, is their errors mean absolutely goddamn nothing. I don't know. Maybe I should just use a file pointer. I think that's what I'm going to just end up doing, is a file pointer. And we're going to say fprintf log file. Let's do this like we do it in C. Right? Let's go to log file. Can I get like internal? No. Is open, I word, left, narrow, octal, open. Out? No. Swap. Oh! Oh, I think I know. I think I know what, why that's a thing. Because, right, log key. Okay, so we're going to do log file. And we're going to say std of stream. Because it needs a reference. And we're going to go back to where we call this function, and it works. So, you know, there's that. That's why, because it needs a reference instead of, yeah. All right, and we need the shift characters, which are going to be in our global namespace. And of course it needs, I'm going to comment this out real quick. So it has, we have the keyboard. And of course it needs the timestamp. Yeah. So I can kind of get rid of all of this and this. And I am gonna make it Windows specific. Don't worry. How long has our stream been going on? We just hit 2 hours. Okay, so now, in the interest of not making another stream on this, unless I absolutely need to, I think splitting this into actual files is going to work. Is going to be somewhat of the point. Right? So I think we can do that. I think we can definitely do that. Right? So what I'm going to do... Yeah, okay, alright. So we're essentially going to... I'm going to make... So this is our keylogger.hpp. I'm not going to comment out the pragma once. Right, so this is our keylogger.hpp, and this is our keylogger.cpp. And what I'm going to do is move keylogger.cpp into source. And we're going to then now create a main.cpp and include keylogger.hpp. And then essentially use this main function. There we go. Come on. There we go. All right. I think that is a-okay. Right? So, things like a log file don't necessarily need to be in a header file. So this can kind of go, and we're gonna do main. We're gonna open up namespace, because that's what the cool kids are doing nowadays. OF stream log file. So that's global, right? Or no, yeah, I think that needs to go in the CPP folder. I think that needs to go in CPP, yeah. Okay, and then here, I think we're gonna do the Windows checks in a minute. So this can stay in the CPP file, but I think everything here is essentially going to be turned into a function that you can reference, in a header file. So keylogger.hpp. There we go. And so these are going to be function declarations. Let's see here. Is uppercase, is function key. Is special key. Okay, alright, I'm just making sure I didn't delete a definition. And there we go. This is the culmination of what is now a week of programming. There we go. And then we can kind of look at the function names, and we can kind of glean if you want them in the CPP folder, or the CPP file, or the HPP file. It's got the little PP. I swear I'm an adult. Oh, okay, yeah, because they're a part of the Windows API. Right, okay. And start loop. There we go. Okay. So, let's see. We got our booleans, we got our checks. We have our keys to strings, we get our state, we log our key. Alright, I think that's fine. I don't think the console handler should be a part of the header. Or the keyboard hook. I think that's fine. Session stamp to string. Yeah, you don't really need that. You don't really need that. Make session stamp. You don't really need that either. So this is our API. And what do I need? I need include fstream. There we go. This is our API. So now what I can do is, let's see. Okay, what I'm gonna do is if def win32, we have these, and if. So these are all win32. And if def win32, and if, so that's Windows. And then what else do I need to include? Oh, yeah, and then if def keyboard, and do and if. There we go. Okay. There we go. And then in the HPP file, oh, I also need to do includes not keylogger, but keys. And that way we can get our key type. So these are fine, these are fine, these are fine. This is fine. Keyboard hook. Oh, because we don't have the log file. Right, okay. OFStream log file. Right. So we don't have the log file. Why do we not have the log file? Oh, and then int to bool, which is in one of these. It isn't. Okay, well, I guess I'll just do it again or something like that. Right. So I think I'm gonna make a setup function that kind of needs to be called first. I think that's the best way I can do this. Yeah. Yeah, I do believe that this is the best way I can do. Oh, and then there is, what is red here? Expected a semicolon. Oh, because I added an extra parenthesis. Int to bool. So let's make int to bool. Let's put it up here. Bool int to bool is let's take an int value. I know I called it result last time, but return value does not equal 0, and there you go. And then we also need set timestamp. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is do, yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set timestamp.cpp, and we're going to copy all of this and kind of make it a header, which is probably what I should do for the logger. You know what I mean? Pragma once. I'm gonna change that to like actual include guards in a minute. We don't need namespace. These can be de-indented, and we're gonna say char pointer get timestamp, which is just going to return the timestamp. Which is this. Yeah, I think that's good. And then I can delete this. These comments. I will go back and probably add comments later, but for right now, this is good. So we're gonna then copy this, and go to keylogger.hpp, and no, we're gonna do timestamp.hpp. And the pragma once doesn't need to be in the CPP file. It needs to be in the HPP file. There we go. Pragma once. And there we go. And these are all function calls, or function declarations. There we go. That should be fine. And then keylogger, that's going to be get timestamp. And we are going to include includes. Right. Oh, and then, yeah, so we can now do timestamp because we are passing in where the includes are, and keys, which is going to give me a if def win 32, which so that's going to give me an error. And if is include windows.h, and define win32 lean and mean. There we go. And that should be fine. So these are going to give us some include errors, but I believe correct in the build scripts. We do not. How about in compile? We do not. Oh, hi, Mark. But we should is includes. Let's see if that works. And then we're gonna do in builds. It should compile. That should work. Keylogger. Oh, because the target is now main and not keylogger, and I also have to change that here, main. Okay, let's see here. Includes. Don't need that anymore. Okay, alright, let's see. Was not declared in this scope. Yeah, okay. Alright, so in keylogger, we're gonna do setup, which is gonna be void, and I don't think it's gonna take any arguments. So setup is essentially going to set up the application. Let's take everything out here. It doesn't give me unknown errors anymore, which is good. So we're gonna go to keylogger, and we're gonna do setup before start loop, void setup void, and that is going to be this essentially, right? Or yeah, hold on. So that's gonna be const.char pointer log file name, and that's gonna do this, right? Yeah. Or maybe what it could do is return the log file. No, yeah, because it still needs to be global. Right, in keylogger, I don't have Windows. I will include Windows at some point. But, yeah, so let's see. I think it is just going to open the keylogger file and maybe set all of this. Yeah. It's going to set all of this. Set up. And then maybe I should make a teardown function. Should I make a teardown function? Yeah, that way we're not really logging. So those are the ones that have the side effects, right? So then we're going to do const.char pointer log file name. And then we're going to do void stop. Which is then going to take in OF stream reference log file. Yeah. Okay. Yes. All right. So that's what I want to do here. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Oh, and then setup, and then maybe should I make a different file for keyboard? I don't know. Because essentially, I have to do this. Yeah. So keylogger. Let's see. I think maybe, right, so it should open the file. It should open the file. It should set the control handler. Get the instant. It should get all of this. And the keyboard. And then in stop, we're gonna add a different parameter. Yeah. Okay. So here's how I'm gonna do stop. If def win 32. If we're on Windows. Else. And then end if and we're gonna kind of overload this a little bit. We're gonna do hook keyboard else void stop is just gonna take in our log file. Which does add a little bit of complexity, but whatever. And so we're gonna do now if def win32. Oh, actually, hold on a second. All right, where does hook Windows header? Where is that definition? Is it? It's in Win user. Okay. And if include win user h, and that should be fine. No, it is not. Okay. So let's do Windows, and that should go away. Okay. Hook, yeah, Windows, Win user. Okay, I didn't want to include all of Windows. Fine. Win32 lean and mean. And then in here, in the keylogger.cpp, I do not have to include this. But I do have to include keylogger. And there you go. Right, so now setup. The setup is essentially going to do this, right? We're gonna open the log file. We're gonna say log file name. And then we're gonna do if def win32 and if and then on setup, I think we're gonna get our keyboard. Yeah. Setup is then gonna return a H hook, which is gonna be our keyboard. Else void setup const char pointer log file name. There we go. So in keylogger.cpp, we then set the console, get the instance, and we do all of this essentially. I can get rid of these comments. I can get rid of this. I can get rid of this. And we're going to actually, yeah, we can just return keyboard, really. Yeah. So it sets the global. Well, it errors out, actually, yeah, so we can return null pointer. Void setup is we get a H hook. Right, and then we're gonna do this. So there we go. Right. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then turn null pointer. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do that, and then so there shouldn't be a side effect here. There shouldn't be an IO side effect. Return keyboard. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say setup our keyboard, H hook, our keyboard, BOARD is equal to setup. Where else do we need the keyboard? Actually, now that I think about it, where else are we using the keyboard? Keyboard hook. Oh, here. Okay. Yeah, we can get rid of these comments. These don't really do anything. There we go. And then I can get rid of this. Okay, so we are using keyboard in the callbacks. Okay. Alright. That's fair. And then we got setup. Or maybe I don't necessarily need to pass in the keyboard. No, yeah, I do. I do. Yeah. And we're going to pass in a reference to it. Yeah, okay. All right. So then setup is going to get, what is our signature of setup? The log file name, which is going to be, we're going to factor that out. Const char pointer log file name, which is going to be key logger.txt. And that's going to be a log file name. And then we're going to start the session. Right? Yeah. Oh shit, hold on. I need the original message because I just deleted it like a moron. Right? What did we just... Yeah, okay, so that... I need the original message because I copied it and forgot about that. We are going to do if keyboard is null. There we go. Or I'm actually going to do this. B. We're going to do this if keyboard is null. We're going to error out. And so far we haven't like logged anything or allocated anything, so I think that's okay to do. Right, setup. Right? Because in the original code, we check to see if it's null after we set everything up. Yeah, so I think that's okay. I think that's okay. And then we do log file. Oh, yeah. We do stop, essentially, which is going to get your log file. Oh, shit, yeah. So stop doesn't need the log file necessarily. Yeah, okay. So that can be void, and that can just take in a keyboard. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Keyboard. But it is gonna close the log file. Right. I don't know, maybe should I return a log file? It's an idea. How long have we been going for? Almost 3 hours. Okay. I could do it. I could return a log file. I'm thinking about it. No, you know what? I think I will just... I'll log this. I'll have a... I'll put it in start, I guess. In start loop, yeah. So let's go to start loop. We're gonna do that. Yeah. There you go. I'm okay with that side effect. That's fine for right now. Yeah. Okay. And then in end, there we go. We can do this. In stop, we can do... actually, in stop, we can do this. Or, no, even stop, we can do this. There we go. And keylogger.cpp, and where is stop? Did I make stop? No, I didn't. Okay. So, stop has to be defined here. Okay. So, void stop, which takes in a H hook, keyboard, ARD, and it essentially does this. And that's fine. There we go. Okay. And then we stop. This takes in the keyboard. And there we go, essentially. And then all I need to do is include IOStream. And that should work. And let's... Standard library goes before includes. That should be it. Right? We're no longer using these. Actually, let me border length. Border length. Keylogger. Ah. Okay. So these can be in the namespace. Okay. That's fine, and then these can log for right now. That's cool. Okay, and then keylogger CPP. We're gonna put these in the namespace. There we go. So everything is hunky-dory. There we go. Let's compile. And this should work. Okay. No such file or directory. Oh, because it is in the parent folder. So again, that should work. Cannot find timestamp. Okay. C compile includes. Sure, I guess. The capital I. Right, okay. So in our compile script, I is /includes. Or I guess it's looking in build then, so it's .. includes. Is that correct? No. What? Keylogger. It knows where keylogger is. Okay. If and def key logger HPP define and then and if Okay, I guess includes? Does that work? No. What? Oh, timestamp. Fatal error. Why did it not have time? What? Okay, so I do have another script. Let's go to my desktop, coding, C, command. Let's look at how Bootstrap did it. This is superfluous, so just I includes L source. That should be fine. And we put that in compile. Okay. Let's delete these binaries real quick, just to see if it's like a cached thing, which probably is. No. Okay, well, let's do includes. Includes. But that should work. Compile is source includes So compiling is fine. It's running where it fails. It fails at runtime. Alright, well. Includes timestamp and dot slash includes timestamp or keys, sorry. Sure, I guess. Let's build again. Okay. In keylogger. Oh, okay, yeah, you can only have default parameters in a header. And then yeah, okay, so log file, that should be log file, and that should work. standard C error. Ah. And then we have std error include IO stream, which really you no longer need F stream. But yeah, there we go. And that should build. Undefined reference to stop with a hook. Okay, well, let's look at the return. Function void key, no return function does return. How? Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Cannot run program. Oh, okay. Keylogger, we got to do that. Void stop with a keyboard. No, that's right. Oh, because it needs a reference. Ah. There you go. Hello world. Ah, damn. Okay. So it runs. Okay. Return ends of non-void. Control reaches end of non-void function. Okay, so in the original code, callback. Ah, okay. And then we probably have to do that. Which is this, essentially. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think that's fine. Bin compile. Good. And then bin run. Hello world. And then quit. And that does not log anything. Damn! Alright, so we got keyboard hook. Printf. Code. %d. New line. Virtual code. There we go. Okay, maybe I have to let's see. View, can I? No, I'm probably gonna have to go to my desktop. I just want to open folder in File Explorer there, and then go to keylogger, cmd code, or no, cmd, do bin keylogger. Oh, bin main. Hello world. And then close. think that should work. Okay. Oh. Still logging. But right, so it doesn't even like log the session, which is concerning. Setup. So it opens the log, sets the the console handler. It gets the instance. Set up start loop. Right? And we call start loop. Yeah, here. Message loop. This should work. std printf loop. Oh wow, okay. Right? So to exit, close the console is I think what the original said, if I'm correct. Will be logged to the keylogger. Keylogger, please, monitoring keyboard input. Close the window to exit, right, yeah. Printf. So it starts the loop. We are calling setup. Huh. And standard cout. Log file open. Or is open, I should say. Is open, there we go. Compile and run. It's open. I'm just smashing keys at this point. And close. Then main. This should work. All indication says this should work. Ah! Virtual code. There we go. No. What are we doing with the virtual code? We are logging the keystroke with the virtual code. Okay, maybe I don't need to do that? Compile and run. I know void. I'm kind of just smashing shit. Okay. Okay. So it crashed. Encode. Virtual code? See if that works. Okay. No. Okay, const char key to string code uppercase shift symbols a printf cout, right, or no, std printf percent s new line key. Let's see. So the log file is open. Okay. Right, keyboard hook for an L parameter. And it's logging the keystroke. Okay. Well, if it's not that, then we do that. And if it's not that, then we exit. Right? This is very perplexing. The log file key to string. Shift symbols. Alright, we get the keyboard. If the keyboard is null, we fail and we stop. Else we start the loop. Yeah, design-wise, that's fine. Okay, setup. We open. We set the handler, which is the console handler. How about we return false here? Let's see what happens. turned on caps lock for some reason. Ah! Aha! Okay, we have found the problem. Keylogger, why is this a thing? Okay. So, let's just try and run that again. Except now I'm going to type hello space world. No. Right? It logs something. I don't know what I did. I don't know what it did for this to work. I don't know what I did. Because it worked. It logged something, right? Hello, world. Kind of just mashing my keyboard. And then close the window. Does that work? That works. Okay. So then if I say run hello world and then close the window, that should work. Why does it not work? What have I done? How about if I just press space? Does that work? No. This is perplexing. This is genuinely perplexing, and we are on 3 hours now. Whoops. Okay, maybe I don't need to do that. I just kind of smashed my keyboard. I don't entirely know what happened. Alright. Hello world. And then close the window. Huh. And moreover, when I press space, right, why is that not... I'm pressing control. I'm pressing control. Right? So now, this is shift. I'm holding down shift. And then close the window. Nothing. Okay, so it's logging something. Huh. This is perplexing. How about code? Does that work? Right? And key to string. If it's a function key, if it is a function key within the range of the function keys, right? Oh, and speaking of null pointer, we're going to probably return unreachable. There we go. Let's see if that works at all. So if I type hello world, Control C, that works, sort of. That worked. Okay. But it doesn't end, is the thing. So it doesn't end. Why does it not end? Okay. So let's bin compile. Hello world. Close window. No. Okay. It only happens when I control C. Alright. And then key to string. Return normal key to string. Where is this? Use special key to string. Colon, yeah, this. Function key, return normal key to string. I don't handle spaces, do I? Or shift. Yeah, I don't really handle spaces or like shift. Right? But we have like keys for it. That's the thing. Is return and an invalid key. Which is fine. And then we go key to string is this. So enter, right, okay, so we don't ever, I think, call keys to string. Yeah, no, we never call key to string. And that, okay, yeah, that's our problem. We never call key to string. Which is going to be in... So, keylogger. We never call key to string. Keyboard hook. Oh, no, yeah, we do. But it's a different key to string. Ah. Key type to string. Ah. Return unreachable. There we go. And then what I'm gonna do is this is never called anywhere. Key type to string. No, yeah, okay. Alright, so then I need the, this file can be deleted, by the way. I need the isNormalKey function. Which is going to be, also this can be deleted as well. Sort includes builds bin. Keylogger CPP. So this is going to be else if, right? And then isNormalKey is going to be as a Boolean. isNormalKey. There we go. There we go. Yeah. And then number range, I'm gonna comment that out because that's not. Oh well, or letter range. Sorry, I'm gonna comment that out, and then we do else if isNormalKey or not. Yeah, is not normal key. Then we got the code. Then we're going to return key type to string, which is going to be in keys at HPP, and this is going to be key type to string. There we go. And we're going to do key type to string. Just going to get a key code, and that's it. Okay, I think that'll work now. I think this will work. Hello world. Control C. It works! It works! Oh my god, it works! And then, okay, so now why isn't it, I mean, it's ending. Right? Okay, so I can get rid of loop. And get rid of this. And then stop. Log file stop. Stop. Hello world. Control C. Ah! Oh, well, no, session started. Okay. No, that's not right. Okay. So, stop is not being called. Why is that? Monitoring. So, we start the loop, which you session start, and then we translate the message, dispatch message. I don't know, maybe then we call stop with the keyboard? I don't know, is that a thing? Hello world. Control C. I don't know, is it? Help me. I'm not kidding. Oops, wrong one, right? Oh, wow, okay, that's something I gotta do. Okay, so apparently, special key, give me a second, where is special key, right, okay, so special key, give me a second, so stop keyboard, but it's never sent through, so how about C out, so that I can, tilde, open brace, close brace, forward slash, or capital letters, I should say. Letter to key, right, so, it's a number, and it's shift. Shift characters, these are shift characters. Okay, so maybe the original shift characters were like that for a reason. Yeah. So I'm gonna copy the original shift characters here and see if that works. Const, and this is 10. Oh, all right. Control C. Shift characters. Oh, shift characters. Okay. Hello world. And then I'm gonna close the console. No. Alright, don't save. We're gonna delete keylogger for right now. And let's run it. Shut up, Windows. Hello world. F. Sure. And okay, so it starts the session, but it never ends the session, which is a problem. It starts the session, but it never ends the session. Huh. Maybe should I delete that? Yeah, control reaches end, yeah. Hello world. No, okay, yeah. We're gonna delete this. I don't know. Let's see. Console handler, we have event. If keyboard does not equal nil, we return that. I think that's fine. But stop is never called. That's the thing, is stop never cleans up the session. That's what I'm getting at. I don't know. What I could... Alright, so what I could do is just sort of factor this out and just make it so that... Well, no, I can't, because I still need the log file. Okay, let's see here. We have the log file name, set control handler. Okay, so if not... Oh, excuse me. Set control handler is true. Console handler. Yeah. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna copy this real quick just to see if it's like how I've implemented it. So we're gonna go to our console handler and we're just gonna copy and paste that in there. Just to see if it's how I've implemented it. That's event. This is log file, and this is our keyword. Oh. Control C. Right. To get formatted time, we're going to set timestamp, and that's going to be get timestamp. Hello world. Close. Huh. This is so fucking stupid. Exclamation mark. Close the console. Huh. Okay, well, let's try and run it from here. Bin main. I love key logging. No. I don't know. I guess what I'm gonna do is, just so everything is cleaned up, I'm gonna go to main, and we're gonna do this, and if def win 32 and diff. Buffer reset, keylogger. Oh, okay, so include build kata lib c collections buffer home. And this is define buffer implementation. Let's compile. Oh, multiple definition. Okay, so key logger. Close. Okay. You know what? I think I'm gonna call this a success. Yeah. Right. So if I do. No. Yeah. All right. Never mind. I'm gonna call this a success. We can log keys. This is fine. I don't know. Maybe you can clean this up a little bit if you need. But as far as I know, this is okay. We're gonna do that, and then keylogger. There we go. All right. Okay. So this is a decent keylogger. And we're gonna do so keylogger cpp and void stop void, and that's just gonna do that. Hello world. Control C. That's your keylogger, right? And we are going to take out this print statement here, and I think that is gonna do it. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Implementation. Oh, I know. Yeah, okay. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna crash. Yeah. Define exceptions implementation, and we're gonna include Build cata // build cata lib cpp exceptions. So what I'm gonna do is I'm then going to go here and we're gonna throw an unreachable error. What kind of errors are we looking at? Lib exceptions. Allocation error, out of range, index, value, unreachable error. There we go. Alright, build cata lib exceptions. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of all of this. I don't need bootstrap anymore. Lib build. This is just cleanup now. I'm just making this look a little bit better. And we're gonna do special key to string. Unreachable error. Sure about that? It's not defined in this scope. It should be. Right? Because you include build cata lib cpp exceptions.hpp. Maybe was I doing exceptions.h? Control C. Right. Why is that undefined? That should not be undefined. Value unreachable error. It's right fucking here. Just saying. Alright, I'll figure this out. So we're gonna return unreachable for right now. Anyway, okay. So 3 hours and a half to get something that should have only taken really an hour or so. I'm just closing folders at the moment. But yeah, I think this is gonna be the end of this saga for right now. It's gonna be the end of this saga. We are going to probably stream tomorrow something new, something different. I have a few different things that I kind of want to try out. There's also, like, I'm probably going to come to this project later at some point. I'm not sure. But the whole point of this project was to essentially get someone else's code that was written like complete crap and make it look professional, and not to knock the original guy that wrote it. It's just simply like, it's not written like crap. It's more written in a way that's unreadable. And when you kind of do that, you invite yourself to make things that other people want to turn into something readable and make it clean and make it better in a way. What if we are not, we are not programmers, if not we have the urge to make something better. Know what I mean? So I think that's going to do it for now. I'll either see you guys tomorrow or Sunday. Hopefully tomorrow. So thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Peace.